I think it's streaming. Let's see. I think so. It does say, it says starting, which is good. Which is good. Yeah, Burn on a Rock is there. Yeah, there we go. Yo, 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 yo. All right. All right. It's working now. Okay. Laura, if you could you? Okay, I'm going to say something. Hopefully, you can hear me. I'm gonna have Laura say something, my geek girlfriend, and you can tell me if you heard her. Okay, Laura, say something. Hopefully, you just heard. Hopefully, you just heard Laura. Let me know if you heard Laura. Let me know if you heard me. We're still working out the streaming stuff. Spikes are a go. That's funny. High fives all around. Quality's good. Bird on a Rock says quality's good. 3D Prints and GoPro said heard her. Let's see. You do need. Let's see. Needs to be louder for Laura. Check, check, check. Okay, here we go. Okay, Laura, say something.
Okay, I'm speaking quite loudly, so if it's not coming through the mic, then I could scream, but I think that will upset other people.
I think you're right. No, you're doing it. You're doing it. Yeah. See, everybody can barely hear her, so I just got to work on making you louder.
That is totally not the normal comments that I get.
No.
Usually it's shh.
Okay, stand by. I can do this. I can totally do this.
I am in another room. I am hibernating on his couch.
You are in another. Here, wait. Could you bring your mic pack towards me? Don't worry, you won't be on camera.
My mic pack?
Yeah. Well, you need to come along, but you need to come along with the mic pack.
Okay. You're making me get off the couch.
I am making you get off the couch.
Okay, I am closer. I'm sitting outside the door. Okay.
Well, you need to come closer.
I am close.
No. Meaning, I need the mic pack. I need to adjust things on it.
Oh, okay. I'm I can't really come any closer because there's lights and standards and fun things in the way.
I know. They said you're louder now, and that's because of they can hear you through this mic. All right, hold on. So we're using we're using a Sennheiser G2 wireless because she's in the other room, and I just need to set her volume a little bit louder. Sensitivity. Here we go. Say something.
Something.
Say something again.
Something again.
Okay.
Is it working? I don't know. I can't tell. So, I mean, I'm being loud.
You're not being loud. You're being normal. Okay.
All right. People still tell me I'm too loud.
I think that'll be. Oh wait. Here, hold on. Store it. Okay. I think that'll be okay.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. Everybody should be able to hear Laura
I'm not super
now.
important, as long
I
as
know. I am a
Joel is
monster.
yelling out.
I made her get off the couch. It's terrible. It's awful. Oh, high five, dude, in a motorhome. Sweet. Oh, hey, Sparky. Let's see. Luke asks a very important question. Luke asks, why does Laura need to be mic'd? And mostly because the conversation is held in a window here. And I don't always look at the comments. I mean, I try to gaze at the comments from time to time. I do have a monitor up here that I'm going to eventually put the comments on so I can see them. But the reason Laura is mic'd is because I want her to be able to say, hey, Joel, blah, 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 whatever. And then I wanted to make sure you guys can hear it. I don't want her to be, she's off camera, but she's not off audio. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense, Laura?
It makes sense. So, I mean, as long as you can hear me yelling the comments at the end of the day, that's the important part. But,
ooh,
sure.
I'm supposed to say hello to Croatia. Hello, Croatia. I hope I said,
country.
Did I say Croatia right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Something about more vids on the polisher.
True. I do need to do more vids on the polisher. It's right behind me, right here. It's pretty awesome. Chapman, she's not coming from my mic. I upped the sensitivity on her mic. In fact, let's do a little experiment. Okay.
Okay. We're wasting so much time about whether people can hear me. It's really not that important.
All of the words that just came out of her mouth right there, according to my mixer, were only from her audio channel and not my mic. You can go back to the couch if you want.
Oh, can I?
Yeah, you can go back to the couch.
Super comfy.
It is super comfy. Watch, or I'm sorry, listen as Laura goes back to the couch and you're still able to hear her. Oh, Norbert, do I sound soft? I'm sorry, I shouldn't. Okay. Oh.
It's okay. People don't need to worry about if they can't hear me, it's not the end of the world.
She shouldn't be quiet now. I hope she's not quiet. This is terrible. Sorry. Okay. I'll tell you what. Yes, I'm running a mixer. I'm going to figure this out. Okay. Wait. Okay, how about now? Laura, could you say something, please?
What? I can say something. I mean, I don't really have anything important to say. But if they can't hear me now that I'm farther away, that meant that I was coming through your mic.
Oh, that's a good point, I suppose. Everybody's saying too quiet. Sucks. Oh, this is hard. Okay. What? I'm not going to pretend. No, the whole point of this exercise was for you to be able to say something.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to work. Get off my butt.
No.
Towards here. Now I'm back here.
No. Then my mic's going to pick you up.
Yeah. So then they can hear me.
But I don't want that. Okay.
They ask why I can't be next to you, and that's because
they do ask that, Laura. Why can't you just sit here and help me out? You could be slightly off camera. I've got plenty of room.
Can I just? I mean, if I talk from out here, can they hear me?
Maybe.
Yeah. See, they said they can hear me fine through yours, so I'll just yell from out here. That's fine.
This seems so terrible. It seems so.
Okay, so
I'm a nerd. I like having technology.
Do the polisher stuff.
Okay. So regarding the Polymaker Polisher, this thing right back here, I haven't had the chance to do much with it since I've had some new stuff to do at work, and then I had a family vacation, and then I had a metric buttload of printers show up, and I've just been busy. The time I'm allowed to do stuff has decreased, but the amount of stuff I have to do has either stayed the same or increased, and that's why I have to kind of put things in order, and I have to take my time with things. So the polisher, I am getting more use on it soon, and I do plan on using it more and printing more. It's just a matter of time. That's all there really is to it. I just have to find the time to do it.
How is Hawaii?
How's Hawaii? Oh, who said that?
3D prints and GoPro.
Oh, okay. Hawaii was wonderful. Hawaii was absolutely wonderful. Let's see. We stayed at the Disney Aulani Resort on the island of Oahu, and we stayed there. I think it was 6 nights. It was fun. The water slides were cool. The beaches were cool. There were plenty of drinks with rum in them, which is great. The shave ice at Aulani is $5, which is really cheap, and it's the kind that has the ice cream at the bottom. There was good restaurants. We did get to go to the Arizona Memorial. We did get to see the Bofin Sub Museum, which is at the Arizona Memorial location. And I filmed all of that. I'm going to put that on the Technically Nerdy channel as soon as I can get around to editing that video. Across the street from Aulani, there was a coffee shop that had really good coffee, and I had a salted caramel macaroon, which was just so good. Right next to that coffee shop is a restaurant called Monkey Pod, And Monkey Pod was wonderful. We got the chance to eat there. We made a reservation. There was 11 of us total, so we made a reservation at Monkey Pod, and we were able to eat there and drink there. That was really good. And being it across the street, we just walked. It was pretty fun. Let's see. Oh, and the ABC store, right next to Monkey Pod, had Dole Whip on demand. So you just pull the handle, and all the Dole Whip you could ever want comes out of that machine. That was fun. Oh, and there's a little surf shop next to Monkey Pod and the ABC store, and that surf shop is where I picked up a new GoPro Hero 5. So I'm going to have that as part of the channel, being able to film things. I'll be able to now have multiple time-lapse prints going because I have more than one GoPro now. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Well, there we go. That's how Hawaii was. I hope that was... Did I answer that good, Laura?
Sure.
Okay, good.
But apparently someone wants to know if we're getting to a Q&A portion, so they have there's actual questions that need to be happening.
Oh, yes. I'm more than happy to answer questions. I'm just waiting for Laura to call them out.
Well, I was letting you finish your Hawaii story.
All right. That's fine. That's fine. You're just sitting on the floor. You know that.
Yes.
Are you comfy? It's a comfy floor.
Yes. Okay, but I'm losing track because I can't... How do I scroll back up?
You use 2 fingers on the touchpad and...
No, I'm just... Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry. So,
see, Bird on a Rock likes Monkey Pod.
Any more news on the Taz 6? Does that make sense?
To me? Yeah, that makes total sense. The Taz 6 is going to most likely be the next review that I'm able to publish. The Taz 6 has been performing just beautifully. It's good, you guys. Like the Taz 6, I knew that when I got the original pre-production Taz 6, when the industry reviews were happening, my Taz 6 was just one of a batch of like 20 or 30 that had very specific issues. They knew what caused them after some investigation, and they were able to fix those. And in fact, in that pre-production video review, I did say that I was sure that they were going to fix it. Once they sent me another production unit with the issues taken care of, I was going to be able to review it, and most likely I would be able to give it a passing grade. So eventually, after talking to him at CES, I was able to get this machine. I said I would do the review once the roll of Polylite PLA they sent me was out, and it probably has 2 benchies left on the roll. I just measured filament in benchies. That's awesome. We should tell Daniel Norre. That's pretty fun. But it only has 2 benchies left on the roll. The Taz 6 is performing well. The Taz 6. During the review of the Taz 6, I'm going to say something about it, and I'm going to do something in a 3D printer review that I've never said before in a 3D printer review. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there because of reasons. Because of reasons. How was that? Was that good, Laura?
Sure. Okay, Wild Mania wants to know how fast can you print PLA without messing up the result?
Well, that's gonna... How fast can you print PLA without messing up the result? That really depends on the machine you're printing on, honestly. Because some machines can hit 100 millimeters a second, 150 millimeters a second. The D3D Pro 1 or 1 Pro or whatever that one is that Dustin has, it can hit insane speeds. I'm told, but in the videos it looks like there's no way it's hitting those actual speeds because there's acceleration and deceleration and corners and having to take those into account. But typically, it's like on the G-Max printer, I print at 60 millimeters a second, which I consider to be a fairly not slow, not fast speed, and it handles it really well. I could, if it wasn't highly detailed, I bet I could go 80 to 100 millimeters a second on the G-Max, which is crazy. The Ultimaker, I know the Ultimakers can really punch through it. The Taz machine, I haven't really tasked it so much. The Rays I don't print very fast on just because it's a big machine with a 0.4 nozzle, and I usually like to save that for prints where I can take my time on just to get as much detail as possible out of it. So with PLA, I mean, it really depends on the machine. Aim for 60, and then just keep cranking it until you have a result you like at a speed you can use. There we go.
If you could make another food-related filament, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a really good question. If I could make another food-related filament, I don't know if it's possible, but I want to make a whipped cream filament. I think that would be fun. I think that,
Isn't that just white?
well, it would be white, but it would have a certain. I would want it to have a very certain consistency, a certain weight to it. I think for a Halloween, like a squash filament or a pumpkin filament would be a lot of fun. You could pulverize baked pumpkin seeds and then throw in a little bit of orange coloring. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And you could actually get those pumpkin seeds pulverized down pretty far, I think. Yeah?
Probably.
Yeah? Okay.
What is a good 3D printer for a first printer?
You For a first 3D printer, my first one was a FlashForge Creator Pro. It was on sale at Amazon. My wife and kids got it for me for Christmas more than 2 years ago. It was a good first printer to cut my teeth on. It was a dual extruder, and it came with 2 spools of ABS. And so excuse me. I went that route with my first printer. It really depends on your expertise level, what you want to print with, and what your the size considerations and what your budget is. I really like the Prusa i3 Mark II as a first printer. It's a kit, so assembling it gives you that knowledge of kind of what goes into a 3D printer, and it's made with quality parts, and it's got great support. There's no reason why it's like in that mid range. It's in that Goldilocks zone of price for performance and support, I think. You can't go wrong with an Ultimaker or a Lulzbot or something of that caliber as a first printer, just because they're assembled, they're tested well, big company with a lot of support behind it. They are more expensive, but you get a guaranteed great product 99.999% of the time. Below the price of the Prusa machine, you have to be a little bit more choosy, but there are tons of printers coming out that are 600, 500, 300. There are some printers that are $150 now that are okay, and some that are great. I highly suggest you watch Chuck Hellebuck's channel, Preston's Press Reset channel, and Dustin's The Japman channel. They all typically have relationships with GearBest and Chinese companies to get these low-cost, entry-level, high-performing machines, and those are fantastic machines most of the time, as long as you have a little bit of technical know-how in the back of your head. There we go. That wasn't bad, right? That was a thoughtful answer. That was a good answer.
What is your favorite thing to print, and do you have anything printing right now?
My favorite thing to my favorite thing to print?
Yes.
My favorite thing to print is probably my my maker coin, because I do it as a test. It's like my test. Let's see. Let me get this in view. There we go. So see, I print my maker coins. Maker coin. I used to have more. I try to print the maker coins because then I give them out at the events I go to, like Midwest Rep Rap Festival, which I'll be at, and Bay Area Maker Fair, which I'll be at. I hope to print out a bunch more to give them out. I think that'd be a lot of fun. That's right now my favorite thing to print, just because I know what to expect when I print it, and it serves as a decent test for like sample filaments that I get in maker boxes and stuff like that. What was the other question?
What have you got printing right now?
Oh, what do I got? Let's see. I have. Okay. So behind me, right here on the form, I'm printing the wand that Star uses in Star versus the Forces of Evil. It's a Disney XD cartoon, and it's just fantastic. It is such a good cartoon, and the story of how it came about is awesome. Characters are great. Good animation. I like cartoons, so yeah.
Okay, this question doesn't make sense to me, but it'll probably make sense to you. So it's my Matter Hackers PLA is jamming my hot end and giving me Z branding or Z branding.
Z branding.
Is it the filament or my printer?
I don't know. If it's hard to blame filament on jams. Usually jams are mechanically induced. I mean, I'm not saying that a specific filament can never jam a printer because it can always be out of spec or have something in it. But I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong because I'm wrong a lot, but I believe that filament jams are usually mechanically caused. And with that, maybe you're printing too hot or too cold, or what jam is? Where is the jam happening? Is it a cold end jam, or is it down in the nozzle? Is it in the extruder? If it's a Bowden tube, is it in the tube for some reason? The banding issue, especially on the Z or Z axis, is settings as well. You might have, if it's an i3 machine, you might have a lead screw that's slightly bent. I had that problem on the Wombat initially, and I had Z banding, and I had to actually correct how the lead screw was going through the bracket. It was weird. But it shouldn't be the filament specifically. You did specifically mention Matter Hackers, and I know that they do have support. I highly suggest either pinging them on Twitter or giving them a call tomorrow, and then mention your issues, and they might have some technical tips. And if you give them the batch number off the filament, maybe for some reason, maybe there was a batch that was bad that they later discovered, and maybe that's part of that batch. I don't know. Your best bet is probably to talk to Matter Hackers. That's my guess. That's my guess.
Okay. Do you have any experience shredding or recycling filament?
I have no experience shredding or recycling filament. Not at all. Like none. I've never done it.
What do you do with it?
I've never done. Well,
Toss it?
I recycle it. It can go in the recycling bin, so I just recycle it.
That's what I said. Shredding or recycling.
Oh, you did say recycling. Okay, I'm drinking. So I am. Oh, I'm going to take over for just a moment. I am drinking a Stone Delicious IPA because it is a citrusy India Pale Ale with lemon drop and El Dorado hops, which give it kind of that citrus back end, and it's just glorious. It's so good. Okay.
Okay. The beer commercial has been done. So FDM, SLA, or DLP?
FDM, SLA, or DLP. For me, I like FDM printers. I really like FDM printers. Resin printers are great. I mean, I've got the form here. I'd like to get my hands on a Moonray. The droplet from CVCNC, I've seen some good things from that. But resin is messy. And you have to do stuff to the print when you're done with it. Like with the resin off the form, you have to put it in the isopropyl alcohol, and you have to cure it under a UV lamp or put it outside on a bright day if you're not here in the gloriously cloudy Pacific Northwest. But with FDM prints, you just pull them off the printer and they're good to go. And then you can choose to do things like sand them, prime them, paint them, finish them, and do stuff like that. So I pick FDM over resin printers. Now, there are going to be people who have the needs that resin printers provide, such as high detailed jewelry or certain Bill over Punished Props. He loves the use of the form machine because there are very specific prop elements that can produce that save him time because he doesn't have to sand them as much. He doesn't have to post-produce them much. But for me, FDM. All the way. All the way.
Okay.
All the way.
We have a question that says, my printer's filament is not sticking together, causing it to peel away layer by layer super easily. Any tips?
It depends on the filament. Did they mention the filament?
No. That's Bronze Bear.
Bronze Bear. Let's see. Well, I think it scrolled off for me. So, in my experience, when I've printed with an FDM printer, and I've had layers delaminate. I've had that problem with ABS, and it's just because it wasn't enclosed. I've had that problem with PLA when I don't print hot enough, and the plastic doesn't stick together as well as it should. So if you're printing with PLA and you're not in a freezing cold room, maybe try bumping your temp up 5C or 10C maybe even, and see if the filament sticks together better.
What's the best adhesive to use to bond a glass build plate onto an aluminum PCB?
A glass build plate to aluminum PCB. Here, let's see. Let me see if this website is still active. Oh, yes. Glass to metal. Ha ha ha! This is awesome. If you ever want to use some sort of adhesive to bond something to something else, go to the website thistothat.com. This to that. It gives you prompts, and you just say attach this, and you pick from the drop down, and then to that, and you pick from a drop down. You hit the Let's Glue button, and it tells you the very specific glues that you can use to bond those two things together. So according to thistothat.com, attaching glass to metal, you could use Loctite Improve, or if appearance isn't much of a concern, you can use JB Weld. And they said, think of it like you are gluing a rear view mirror. Makes sense. So there we go. This to that. This to that. This to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Any tips for ABS warping or not sticking to the bed? I have a deal with the flash forge just to stop it.
Okay. ABS on a flash forge, and it's not sticking to the bed. What are you using for your bed surface? On the flash forge, I've used blue tape. I've used Captain tape. I've used Build Tack, and I was able to get it successfully to stick to all surfaces. Blue painter's tape and Captain tape, give it a wipe down with some isopropyl alcohol, and on the blue tape it really ups the adhesion. On the Captain tape it actually cleans it off because fingerprints are greasy and plastic doesn't stick to greasy things. But with the Build Tack it stuck really well. Make sure your initial height is accurate. Make sure your bed is level across all points of where the nozzle can reach. Let's see, Flash Forge Creator Pro, make sure it's enclosed if you're ABS. That's my advice. That's my advice.
Okay. Something about our Midwest Rap Fest?
Ha ha ha. Chris Kaminsky, are you going to Midwest Rap Fest? I want to high five you. That's awesome. Yes, I am going. Tickets are purchased. I will be in Chicago and then route myself to Goshen, Indiana. And then I will be at Midwest Rap Festival. I'll be there all day Saturday and most of the day Sunday, but I do have a flight home Sunday, and I will have to catch that flight. But if you are there, you will see me, and we will high five. For sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more prints with the iron? Does that make sense?
Which comment was that?
That was Jason. It was a little farther up. I'm trying to go back up to questions.
Any more prints with the iron? There's an ironed filament from Protopasta, magnetic iron, and I don't have much. I don't have much of that filament left. I do need to get some more. I did Micro Swiss. I love the guys at Micro Swiss. They came up with, rather than plated nozzles, Micro Swiss got in some hardened steel nozzles. And they gave me Ultimaker sizes for my Ultimaker 2 Plus. So I'm really excited to send some really harsh filaments through that thing. I just have no exotic filament in... I have no exotic filament in 2.85 or 3 millimeter sizes. Everything I have in exotic filament was purchased before I had any 2.85 millimeter filament printers. So I will try to get a hold of Protopasta, and I'll try to get myself some magnetic iron because I really love that stuff. Plus any of their other, I'll get some of their CF as well. I'll try to put, I know Form Futura has a CF as well, and Color Fab has some good exotics. I do have some Color Fab um, brass. Well, the brass, the bronze fill isn't really harsh on nozzles, but it's exotic. Now you want to make me print all sorts of like cool stuff. All right, I will get some more prints with the iron, I promise, and then I'll rust it. Maybe Laura, I did rust a TARDIS. I printed a TARDIS in iron, and I rusted it, and it looked cool. So that's what I'll do. I will print now that I have a machine that can print larger with a hardened nozzle, the Ultimaker 2 Plus, I will print a bigger iron TARDIS, and I will rust it. That's a great idea. Oh, I need to write that down so I won't forget that. Someone remind me.
Okay.
Someone tweet at me. I'm at Joel Telling on Twitter. Tweet at me and say, hey, Joel, don't forget to talk to Protopasta about 2.85 magnetic iron. I would really appreciate that.
Is there a market anymore for printers with no heated bed, or is a heated bed a requirement in 2017?
No. Oh, this is great. So, heated beds are a good thing on a 3D printer because they allow for more materials, since the hot bed allows for the materials that don't stick without a heated bed to stick down, and you can print with them. But I know Flex 3D, I know Preston has that, and Jatman has that. The Flex 3D plates, apparently, you're not supposed to heat, and things stick to those things like mad crazy pants. So, no. The Einstart S from Shining 3D doesn't have a heated bed. My Dremel, my original Dremel printer doesn't have a heated bed, and it still prints fine. Oh, excuse me. So, when printing without a heated bed, you're like, oh no, I have to stick with PLA, because that's really one of the things. Well, if you get like a Flex 3D plate, you can print other things that aren't PLA and get them to stick. You can also, in PLA, find all sorts of crazy type filaments, like the Protopasta filaments that I want to get, like the Color Fab variants, as long as they're not the XT. Shoot, you don't need, as long as it's a PLA carbon, you don't need a heated bed for that to stick down. And if you have a hardened nozzle or plated nozzle, carbon just prints so good, and it looks so good. So good. That was a good answer, right? Did I do good, Laura?
Sure, I have no idea what you're talking about, but sure.
Okay.
Do you have any advice for printing with a smaller diameter nozzle for better detail, like a 0.25 millimeter?
I do. Ooh, people are seeing the fly in my studio. That's
yeah,
awesome.
I see it, and it comes out to see over my head every now and then.
How does it come out to see you? That's nice. What was the question?
Any advice for printing with a smaller diameter nozzle for better detail, like a 0.25 millimeter?
Ooh, just a sec. Mark Davis said, when will you be in Goshen, Indiana? I live very close. I want to high-five you. Mark, look up the Midwest Rep Rap Festival. It's at the end of March. I'll be there in 2 weeks. 3 weeks. There we go. Okay. As far as printing with a smaller orifice nozzle, like a 0.25, print slow and without any sort of additives in the filament. So like a natural, no color PLA, no problem. Colored PLAs are fine too. Colored ABSs are fine. But none of the filaments that have additives in them, because sometimes the additives themselves will be larger than the nozzle orifice. In fact, the bacon filament that I made with the Protopasta people would jam a 0.4 nozzle every time, because the bacon pieces that we put into the plastic were quite large. So I had to print it with a 0.6 and a 0.8 nozzle to make anything. But it turned out great. You saw that Darth Vader head that I printed. I did the video on that. So for a 0.25 nozzle, go slow, and I would reduce or maybe even turn off retraction, because of if you're doing small prints, you need it, I guess, but just maybe slow down the retraction. The problem is you're dealing with a smaller orifice, and so if you jam something in there and it doesn't heat up fast enough, and that's what I'm worried about. What I'm really worried about is like E3D sent me a 0.15 nozzle, and I'm going to print one of Angus's torture cubes with that. But I'm just trying to think. It's got to be super duper slow, right? Because you can't shove any filament on that thing very fast. You know what's interesting? Now that I have the E3D nozzle on my G-Max 1.5 XT Plus, I could technically put the 0.15 nozzle on my G-Max, and I just got a 2.3 kilogram roll of PLA from MakeShaper for a specific project on the G-Max, but I could use a giant roll and a really small orifice nozzle, and I could print for weeks. That would be silly. Why would I do that? I mean, I would do that, but yeah, yeah, okay. Oh, someone asked what kind of dog we own. Luke did. Luke, I've got 2 dogs. We've got 2 dogs. We have like a lab rot mix. Her name is Morgan, after Captain Morgan. And we've got a little Rottie. Her name is Maya, like Mai Tai. Yes, the dogs are named after booze. Don't judge me. I'm not judging you.
They're
okay.
One of them's a little needy.
They are needy. They're needy dogs. It's true.
Okay, now I have to scroll back up to other questions.
Yeah. Well, here, I can take a few.
Okay.
Okay. Pyro says bacon. Yes, bacon. Lucky 13 Vinyl asks if it smells bad. It doesn't, but it does smell like something's cooking. Guillermo Lopez says, what do you think about the Ono 3D printer? All I can say about that is, oh no. Christopher Reed wants bacon. I don't blame him. Bronze Bear says, DJ Tony, I'm sorry, man. 3D printing is a cruel world. It's true. I just answered Luke's question. Miggy Man Mike, but the 2 best software purchases I made last year were Beersmith and Simplify 3D. That's very fine. Shai says, considering all the printers, what's your favorite kinematics? I.e. Core XY, i3, Polar, Quadrip. I don't have a lot of different kinematic printers, right? I've got i3s. I've got the Ultimakers. I've got a Semi CNC Delta, and the Delta Go's getting repaired. I personally really like the i3 platform, and I say that just specifically out of the experiences that I've had with it. I think a well-tuned i3 machine can print great detail. Don't get me wrong, I love the Ultimaker. I love the Deltas, how they look like spiders running around, but I love the i3 platform. I'm just going to say it. I love the i3 platform.
Best 3D software on Mac.
Say that what?
Best 3D printing software on Mac.
Best 3D printing software on Mac. You're going to have to be a little bit more specific. Is that stuff to design for 3D printing, or is that stuff to slice models for 3D printing? Specify.
Okay. There's a question that keeps being popped up again. So how much infill do you recommend to print, and so that it looks good, but also to keep the costs down?
I typically print at 5% infill. I feel that most of the stuff that I have doesn't require much internal weight, and so I will do 2 shells at 5% infill. I think that like my Mario Cube. I think it's 5%, and this might have been 3 shells. Yeah, that's it. I do add more shells if I have to put fasteners through it, and I will do more infill if I just want the piece to have more weight. Other than that, though, 5%.
Which slicer? What is the best?
Which slicer?
I don't know what that means.
Which slicer? Oh, look. Oh, hey, do you see see the thing Shy did? See Shy's all green?
Ah, I just see that.
Yeah. Thanks, Shy. You guys, Shy's good. Okay. Shy gave me $5 via the Super Chat feature on YouTube, and so his comment is his $5 thing will stay at the top. And so I'm just going to say a nice thing about Shy. Shy is a good human, I think. I like our interactions. I know that I got the chance to meet him in person at New York Maker Faire, and I thought he was a good person. He gave me a Delta Go. Unfortunately, it didn't work. I had some questions about the design myself, And then the dude just went and redesigned the whole hot end, and he's going to replace the hot ends of machines that are out there that people wanted. And he's just Shy's going about it the right way. I like the direction that Delta Printer's going. That's Shy for you. There we go. He got his $5 worth, right? Laura?
Sure.
Yeah. Good.
I like he pops up in teal. It's a good color.
Oh, and Laura likes the teal. Good job, Shy. I don't know if you got to pick the teal, but
I think it just comes up like that.
but oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask questions, but if you're on
Yeah, ask questions. No, go ask questions. Go ask questions.
How is the Raise 3D N2 Plus working? Any more prosumer 3D printer reviews upcoming?
Yes. So the Raise 3D N2 Plus is still working. I still absolutely despise leveling the bed on the thing because it has 13 different adjustment points. But once it's level, it does stay there unless for some reason I start mucking with it, and then at that point I swear under my breath and I just give up. But I did actually. Hey Laura, could you go get one of the big purple things for me real quick?
The big purple thing.
One of the big purple things.
Yeah. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm getting my old butt off of the ground.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Laura's getting her butt off the ground. I just finished a big print on the Raise 3D.
It feels like it's going to break.
Well, don't break it. It's one shell.
I know. I'm trying to be very careful.
Okay.
Pass it to you.
Okay. There we go. Can we see it on camera? Yeah, we can. Okay. Look at that. This was printed on the Raise 3D N2 Plus. This is one shell. It fits on my head. That's pretty good.
It comes back off.
It's warm in there. This is 51 centimeters tall. If you happen to notice that it's a twisty design, it's because it's very specifically a twisty design. You may see this soon. If you know who Devin of Make Anything is, and if you know who Dustin the Jetman is, then the little three-way sort of collaboration we have going right now, you'll get to learn about that. But this was printed on the Raise 3D N2 Plus. It took 20 hours. It's 0.2 millimeter layers on a single perimeter.
So Global Print Initiative just went teal and said the next one is on me.
Whoa, really? Oh, thank you, Global Print Initiative. That's fantastic. Here, Laura, can I give this to you to put back? So I don't...
You're making me get off.
I know. I'm just...
Jeez.
I'm terrible.
Okay. All right.
Okay, you got it? You got it. Okay, good. Well, Global Print Initiative. I don't know if we've had any interactions ourselves, but I would like to think that you are a quality human behind that digital namesake. And I hope that your accomplishments through life are worthy of the hardcover biography that famed writers will write for you when you're older. I hope that, there we go. I think that's fair.
Okay, someone is wanting to know, they're thinking of buying a MakerBot 3D printer. Do you recommend it?
Nope. No. Wait, who asked if they should buy a MakerBot?
Vila? Somebody?
Okay.
He's been asking a bunch of questions.
Okay, well, whoever asked about buying a MakerBot, I highly suggest you don't. If you can get your hands on an old Rep 2, that's fine, because an old Rep 2 is a good machine. But anything from MakerBot now is, you could buy something better for less.
There's been a few questions sort of up in the thread a little bit about like the best affordable printers. Like if someone didn't have a lot of money and wanted to sort of buy the most inexpensive something that would do a good job, what would you recommend? Did I stump you?
Well, I heard half the words.
Oh, half the words? Did I talk too fast? There's been some questions, a few sort of common threads about if a good inexpensive printer, like if someone didn't have a lot of money to get into this, like what is the good inexpensive printer?
Okay.
Yeah. The beer is talking.
The beer is talking. So I'm a lightweight, which is fine, and I've still got that much left. But as far as good inexpensive printers, I highly suggest you check out Chuck Hellebuck, Preston over at Press Reset, and Dustin the Gentleman, because they're the ones that have their finger on the pulse of all of the inexpensive printers that are coming out lately, and they are the ones that can put them through the paces and quantify their results and let you know if they're actually decent or not. Because if you go out and pay $150 for a printer, even if it doesn't print at the same quality as an Ultimaker, you're still paying a magnitude less of money for it. So maybe it doesn't have to. I don't know. That's another entire lengthy, long discussion. But if you subscribe to those 3 channels, then you will by all means be educated in the inexpensive 3D printer industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm running out of actual questions here. There's a lot of comments, but
oh, you know what? My friend Lauren at Abuzz Designs makes a really good point too. My buddy Angus over at Maker's Muse, he just did I think it was like a top 5 inexpensive 3D printer so far. That's a really, really good video. I highly suggest going and checking that one out. I completely forgot about that one.
Sinformant is deserving of some accolades.
Oh, Sinformant! Oh, man. Okay, let's see. What can I say about Sinformant? I think that Sinformant probably would open a door for you if you asked, and most likely would buy the first round if appropriate. I think that's fair, right?
Sure.
Yeah?
Although as a Canadian, we just hold doors open for people in general, so.
Laura's Canadian. Wait. I mean, Laura's Canadian, eh? Did I get that right?
We don't do that.
No? You don't go A?
Very rarely. It is not a common parlance.
Parlance. Wow. They got Tim Hortons, man, so they're already way ahead of me.
Hello from the UK.
Hi, UK! Oh, Terrence King, this is a good question. If you 3D scanned your family and friends, what would you turn them into? My thought is table soccer. I really like that table soccer idea, but if I scanned my friends and my family, my thoughts would be to make custom action figures, or to I had another idea. What was it? If I 3D scan them, I would want to put them in some sort of video game. I think that would be fun. I can always 3D print them, right? But I think using those scans as digital avatars would be pretty cool. Ricardo Kevin asks what time it is here, and the time is currently 10:09 p.m. 10:09 p.m.
Have you ever heard of Stepcraft 3D printers?
I have not heard of Stepcraft 3D printers. I'm sorry.
Ontario A is required by law. I'm not sure.
Matthew Goodman, have you worked with anything other than just FDM? And I have. I've got the Form 2 SLA printer behind me. I really want to get my hands on the Moonray machine, which is a DLP machine. I haven't had the chance of using a DLP machine yet, but I think that would be excellent.
You're getting a lot of some hellos from Australia.
Oh, hello, Australia.
Don't deride the accent.
No?
Someone says, if I had a printer for about 3 months and I printed more than their share of things on Thingiverse.
Okay.
What now?
What now?
Yeah.
Have they printed everything on Thingiverse? If you think you've run out of things to print, you can always go to there's a website. It's like, maybe you guys know. It's like, what should I print tonight? Or something like that. What should I print tonight? You can always start making your own things to print. That's kind of fun.
Oh, hello from Indonesia.
Indonesia, hello. Good day.
Are you opposed to someone making a 3D model of you?
No, I'm not. I have a 3D model of me. Haven't I shown this off?
I know you have a 3D a little Joel.
There's me. Yeah. There's me. It's awesome. Here, I'll put him right here. I'll just look over. Yeah. No, here's what I think would be fun. I think that an interesting printer torture test would be me, but my hair. I think it would be interesting, like the furry models. You know, we've got, let's see, Jeffro made the furry unicorn. Print That Thing made the Einstein. Primo's made the hairy lion that everybody's printing, that I'm gonna print. I think that maybe a hairy Joel is next. But how would that work?
Do your coworkers know you're internet famous?
Yes. Yes, they do. I'm going to use that internet fame to try to do more cool stuff at work. I'm doing pretty good on my beer, Laura.
I know, but we're still going here, and I'm running out of questions here.
You should be running out of questions.
No, there's lots of comments, but do you have an STL for Little Joel so I can make a fighting action figure of you and then one of Angus to fight you?
This STL? I have let's see. This one. This STL right here of me giving a little high five. That STL is available to my patrons who support me on patreon.com. Yep, I released it under a very specific license that it wasn't to be shared. And I think I'd let you remix it as long as you didn't share it. I think that was the thing.
Do you think you might have a meetup the next time you come to Protopasta?
Yes.
In the Coop. Which Coop? Is like
Vancouver.
Washington?
Yeah.
Or
Protopasta is in Vancouver, Washington.
Oh, okay. So not my Vancouver.
No, not Vancouver, Canada. Yes. I'm hoping that when I'm able to get down to Protopasta again, we can film another wildcard series, and then I'm hoping we can have a meetup at the Protopasta shop. I don't know how many people there are in the Vancouver area that would want to show up, but yeah. In fact, let's see. I think Portland Mini Maker Fair is in October. I think. Well, I know for a fact we'll need to have a meetup then. Absolutely. I'll be down there with Barnacles again.
What is the biggest thing you've ever printed?
If by big you mean most filament, it's
that rocket base.
It's my big question block here. You see it?
That's huge.
It is huge. It's pretty big. The Lucio sonic amplifier that I printed, it was big. The even bigger one is 2.1 kilograms. I'm about to print something on the G-Max that'll be 1.8 kilograms. The big thing that I put over my head that I print on the raised machine, that was probably the tallest thing I've printed in one go. Yeah, there we go.
How do you manage so many printers in S3D? I struggle with just 3. I know profiles, but any specific tips?
Well, hold that thought. Harda Jack says, seriously, Stone IPA is the best. I'm hammering down Deschutes Fresh Squeezed IPA. Have I tried it? No, I have not tried Deschutes Fresh Squeezed IPA, but I want to because Deschutes makes good beer. Okay, what was the question?
Now I've lost it. Hang on. What's your favorite? No. How do you manage so many printers in S3D? I struggle with just 3. I know profiles, but any specific tips?
What I like to do is, and I don't use Simplify 3D in the way that I probably should. So when I get a printer, I add it to Simplify 3D, and then I configure it for how I want to print with it, and then I print with it. And when I select another printer, those current print settings on that machine, I save it as is. So if I switch it over to vase mode, or if I add some perimeters, or if I change a temperature, then I just save it like that, and I move on to the other machine and do the stuff. And I find that doing that in Simplify 3D helps me to remember that machine and the state which I left it in, and then I can essentially change it from there. I know that's weird, right? But I use Simplify 3D's multiple printer profiles functionality in a way where I just keep a repository of the last used profile or the last used set of settings for that printer in that profile. That's essentially what I do.
All right. So we have a person gone teal. So it's
Ooh.
159753 Android.
Yeah, okay, that's a fun name.
Do you have any opinions about the R10 3D printer?
Any opinions about the R10 3D printer? I'm very unfamiliar with the R10, and since you went teal, I'm going to open up a web browser and I'm going to look up the R10 3D printer. I'm unfamiliar with this. Let's see.
CR10?
Oh, is it the CR10? Okay. The CR10 looks to be a really cool machine. I would highly suggest going and visiting Preston's channel over Press Reset because he's the CR10 dude at the moment. Dustin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think your friend got one and you had to configure it for your friend, right? I think you had to do that. Remind me of that. But I think Dustin also had some good experiences with that printer as well. Personally, I would love to own one, absolutely, and I'm considering using my business funds to actually purchase one of those machines. But I know that there's a backlog, and I think that if I bought one, I would be taking away a good printing experience from someone who may be buying their very first 3D printer, and I don't want to take that away from someone. I know they're limited quantities, so I'm going to wait before I consider getting one, just because I have plenty to keep me busy at the moment.
When are you going to invest in a Fortis 400 MC?
What am I? A Fortis. Oh, jeez. Fortis 400 MC. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. You know, hey, maybe Stratasys wants to sponsor me. Shoot. I guess I could clear a spot in the garage for it.
Is it a giant printer?
It's a giant, industrial, expensive printer.
Oh.
Yeah. 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 If I cut my house in half and sold half of the house, I could probably afford it.
I know at work we had the little model that someone had printed. It was like a little car, a little race car that was printed in metal that you could like stand on and it wouldn't break.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your favorite filament type and brand, if you're allowed to share that info?
I am allowed to share. Who said that? I want to make sure. Oh, Ted Tompkins. Hi, Ted. Hi, Ted. My favorite filament type and brand. I personally love just PLA because it's so stupid easy to print with. And it provides an excellent first experience into 3D printing. With the idea being, if I go into a school environment and I want to introduce second graders to 3D printing, then I'm going to use PLA because I just want to show them something cool that works. I want to get them exposed to the technology, and PLA is the way to go. It's cheap. It's easy to print with. It'll print a ton of things. I'm really starting to like PETG. The things I've printed in PETG have been a really good quality. In fact, let's see. Yeah, my that maker coin right there. That's PETG. It's strong too. Look, I can't even bend it. Not that was real test or anything. As far as brands, I've had really good luck with the Matter Hackers Pro PLA line, and more specifically, the Matter Hackers Pro Natural PLA printed exceptionally well. And I think that had to do with the fact that there were no dyes, there were no colorants, there were no additives. It was just a pure natural PLA. It's going to get painted anyway, but that has been some of, if not the best printing filament I've ever used. I also like Protopasta's HT PLA that they use, and then it gets infused with all sorts of cool additives like iron and carbon fiber and glitter. They had to murder a unicorn to get that glitter. I want you to know that. Their their PLAs are good as well. I know I'm gonna get flack because I'm like PLA. Real people use ABS. Well, first, no, that's not correct, and second, I don't care. It's easy to print with. It provides a great experience, and it makes things very enjoyable. So why wouldn't I use it? Would you guys see the fly? I think the fly just went across.
The fly is around. Can you give some tips about ABS warping? He says he's tried different filament, bed temperatures, enclosures, and even extruders. You still get about 2 millimeters of warp for anything taking over 2 hours.
Oh. The biggest tip I can give for printing an ABS is going to be to use an enclosure. Something that can enclose the print area and keep the heat from the bed in the print area. And so you'll get warping and delamination when even if there's a breeze that gets in there, or on my flash forge when printing with ABS one time, I had the top on, I lifted the cover to check something, and I did that, and there was this breeze that came in, and it actually, a little bit of it pulled off the bed at the time. But so the best thing I can recommend is an enclosure.
How would someone eliminate ghosting on their prints?
Oh, before ghosting, Lauren over to Buzz Design said her print is done, which means she's going to bed. Good night, Lauren. Okay, ghosting. Ghosting, meaning, let's see, if I'm thinking right, ghosting is when like a print takes a hard corner and it has to go back the other way, and you get this kind of this replicating, decreasing kind of pattern. Going too hard into a corner will do that, and a loose belt can cause that because then it bounces a little bit. That'd be my first 2 tips to try. That's what I would try. That's what I would try if I was getting ghosting on my prints.
How do you like the Dremel Idea Builder? Any new thoughts? Is it a good first 3D printer?
The Dremel 3D Idea Builder, the only one I've had is the first one. And the first Dremel 3D Idea Builder was a decent machine. I gave it a good review. I still use it to this day. It doesn't have a heated bed, and at $9.99 for the original one, and now looking back, it's kind of expensive, considering you can get a Prusa kit for $300 less that can print infinitely more things just because of its build and what it can do. But the Idea Builder that I have is still going today. So the new one, my contact at Dremel, they kind of disappeared. So I was gonna get the 3D40, I think is what it's called, and I was gonna test it, but I haven't heard back. So unless you've got a contact at Dremel that wants to contact me, then I think I might be out of the loop on that one.
Have you used Tinkercad for making some designs?
Yes, Tinkercad is fantastic, and it's free, and it's a website. That's just great. Chuck Hellebuck loves Tinkercad. He just loves it, and he does. I remember when I did my video using Fusion 360 to make my MakerCoin design after, I think Angus did his in Onshape or SolidWorks. I don't remember. Excuse me. But Chuck, he said, I'm going to do it in Tinkercad. And he did. Tinkercad's powerful if you know how to use it. You can do all sorts of really cool things with it. I like Tinkercad. How we do? Let's see. How long have we been? Oh,
We've been going for a while.
We have been going for a while. It's actually, I think it might be, I think we might have to call it good. It's been an hour? Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
It's bedtime, man.
It is bedtime. Hey, guys. Okay. Laura, do you want to come say bye?
Bye.
Okay. Laura says bye.
I will wave.
Wait.
Can I wave my hand?
Sure, you can wave your hand.
Where's the webcam? Right there.
It's right here.
I will prove that.
Okay. Random hand. There it is. There's Laura's hand. Laura, thank you for being my comment announcer.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. Go follow her on Twitter. She's at GeekGirl1138. And if you are,
I'm not that exciting, really.
And if you are a fan of sci-fi and Star Wars, then you'll know what 1138 means. Thank you for joining me on this random stream. I've almost finished my beer. I'm a slow drinker.
must be like warm by now.
But it's still tasty. I'm a cheap date. It doesn't matter. Let's see. So in closing. Let's see. How can I do this? In closing. Where do I stop this? Oh, okay. Well, in closing, I would just like to say thank you. I'd like to say thank you to everybody who gave via the super chat. I think that was really cool. I think I've got a new video coming out tomorrow. It'll be my first spotlight of 2017, and I hope you like it. But for now, let's call it good. I'm gonna go have some ice cream. I love you guys. Hey, you know, as always, high five. High five. Okay. I have to stop it at the right point, right? Because if I stop it too soon, then you don't get to see the end stuff. Because it's like, it's behind. I think it is. Okay. So according, I think it stops. So I'm gonna stop now.